Hello, podcast listeners. We know podcasts are a great way to catch up on a program that you may have missed on KSJE, and it's provided as a free service of this radio station. But you know, KSJE is now listener-supported, and so while you enjoy this podcast, we hope that you'll also take some time to join KSJE. Become a member today. It's quite easy to do. Just go to our website at ksje.com/support and pick the level of support that best matches your budget. Thanks again for listening. Here's your podcast. 10 minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Thursday morning, the 16th day of October, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Scott Michlin. Thanks for tuning in to KSJE 90.9 FM over the airwaves here in San Juan County, New Mexico. In Durango, Colorado, we broadcast at 103.3 FM. And if you're listening to my voice anywhere else on the planet, you've gone to our website to do that. Audio streaming all the time from ksje.com, or maybe you're listening through the new KSJE app. However you got here, we're glad that you're here, everybody. Also, welcome to our viewers who are joining us. The video of this program streaming out live to the KSJE Facebook page and also to our YouTube channel. So glad you're all with us, because coming up, we are learning a little bit about elections this morning. The San Juan County Clerk is my guest, and we'll be talking about the upcoming elections in November. Stay tuned for that conversation beginning in the next few moments right here on KSJE. Then later on this hour, we'll be checking in with our friends at Salmon Ruins. It is one of the areas in our region that's open during this government shutdown, because it is not a federal national park or national monument. Salmon Ruins is certainly open and serving the community, and we want to remind you about that. So we're talking about Salmon Ruins today at 8:30 on KSJE. Next hour, of course, Mick Hess is going to take us roving with the arts. That's our weekday classical music program. And then immediately after that at 9:30 today, it is our other program that is called Native Art Voices of the Four Corners with Vanaya Yazi. She'll be here at 9:30. Don't forget, you can also connect with us on other social media platforms like Instagram, like Blue Sky, and like X. And if you're a podcast listener, we've got KSJE podcasts. They're available at places where you're already listening to podcasts. So check it out, subscribe for free, and maybe discover a new local program that you may have missed recently. And also available right now, the new KSJE radio app. You can find it on the App Store and Google Play. Stay connected while you're on the go. Get you connected with our podcasts and the stream all the time, and much, much more. Check it out and take us with you on your mobile device. Outside our studios this morning here at San Juan College, it is a mostly sunny Thursday morning, 44 degrees at the moment, and we are expecting a mostly sunny day, but cooler than we have seen in the past. Today's high only getting up to 57 in Farmington. Overnight low down to 36. There is a freeze warning in effect for some parts of the listening area tonight. Tomorrow, sunshine on Friday, the high 59. It'll be sunny and 61 on Saturday, mid-60s Sunday and Monday, with overnight lows, as you can see, in the upper 30s. I'll be back with my guest, San Juan County Clerk, right after this on KSJE. KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center. The caregivers of San Juan Regional Medical Center are committed to bettering the quality of life, health, and care of individuals, families, and our communities. Life is their sacred trust. Better is their mission. Here is their home. San Juan Regional Medical Center, improving the health of the Four Corners since 1910.
Now back to Studio A and the award-winning Scott Michlin morning program on KSJE.
My guest on the program this morning, as I mentioned, the county clerk in San Juan County, Alyssa Kuhn, is here this morning. Good morning. Thank you for coming in.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You bet. It's great to have you here to talk all elections and things that are keeping you busy at the clerk's office. And, of course, we have an election coming up in November, yes. November 4th,
yes.
For city offices and school board offices and things like that. And so I think there's some Soil and Water Conservation District elections going on, the San Juan College Board of Trustees having an election, and so there's a bunch of candidates who are running this year, but it's one of those off-year elections, though, right? Is that what we
Yes.
call it?
We call it the regular local election.
Okay. I like that, too.
Yeah. This started back in 2019, and it was a way to combine a bunch of the really small elections into one large election, and so everybody knows to go vote in November, whether
Right.
it's an even-numbered year or an odd-numbered year.
Gotcha. I think they used to be in March or something, as I
Yeah,
recall,
February
right?
for schools, March for municipalities,
Right.
and they were all over. And actually, San Juan County was one of the reasons that the legislation got passed, because in 1 year, San Juan County had 13 different elections, small elections in 1 year.
Look at us overachievers, right?
Yeah, so they combined them. Yeah.
So 13 in 1 year, but that would mean a little extra work for you in your office, I guess,
Yes.
to have, because the county clerk is who runs these elections then, right? To do 13 in 1 year? Or?
Yes, and we assisted at that time. A lot of the entities were, the municipalities were
I
running
see.
their own elections, but the schools, and if they wanted to have a special election, all
Sure.
of those came through our office. So it was a lot of extra work.
And a cost involved for those entities too, I suppose, right?
Yes.
If they wanted to have a special election during the year or things like that. So
Correct.
to combine them all, I guess, is a cost-saving measure too.
It is, unless they want to have a special election, and so now
still an option.
They have to pay for that themselves. But if they put everything on the regular local election ballot, then it all is paid for.
Got you.
Yeah.
And so we have early voting has started.
Correct.
In San Juan County for this election that's coming up on the 4th, as we've mentioned. And so that is running well. I asked you that when you came in this morning
Yes.
and how things were going.
Yes, everything is running really, really well, as to be expected. So far, yesterday we had 371 voters as of October 7th. So it's not the best turnout. It's not exactly, what
Right.
we would like, but we're election nerds and we want everybody to come out and vote
Sure.
in these local elections. So
Right. And turnout even in a busy year is pretty not 100%. It's low.
no, it's low,
Low-ish.
but it in a regular local election we get about 16% turnout in the county, and in a presidential general we get about 67% turnout. So there is a very large discrepancy in turnout
Right.
for these local elections.
Exactly. And I always tell people you really can't complain if you don't get out and vote. So
Yeah.
there's that public audience who's
And
listening.
your local people are, they're the ones that are closest to you making decisions in your own community. So it is very important to get those people who you want in
Right.
office.
And I think it seems to me today, now, the government, the county, the state, the federal government too, has made it really easy for folks to register and to vote.
Right. Yes, we have so many different ways. We were talking a little before the show.
Yeah.
We really don't even have provisional ballots coming through our office anymore. We have same-day voter registration, which has completely opened that up. The books used to close 28 days before the election, and if you weren't registered, you
Out of
didn't
luck.
vote.
Right.
Or you voted provisionally, and then we decided if you were supposed to be
Right.
on the books.
If there was a problem or
Yeah.
what have you, sure.
Exactly. And so now with same-day voter registration, they can come in during early voting. They can come in on Election Day. They do have to go through a bit more hoops. They have to show proof of residency. They have to show their driver's license. But we can get you registered, and you can get a ballot just like everybody else and put it in the tabulator. So,
Yeah.
there's really no reason to now not vote.
Right, exactly. Even same day. I mean, even if you wake up on November 4th and go, oh my gosh, I forgot to register, you can still vote.
Yep, absolutely.
And you don't have to go all the way to Aztec. You can do it
Nope.
at any of these voting convenience centers that are set up throughout San Juan County.
Yes, there's 33 voting convenience centers, and we just like to say that there's no wrong place to vote anymore. I think the old way of voting, you had to do your precinct voting, you had to know exactly where your precinct was, and if you
Right.
didn't go there, you had to go somewhere else. Now you can go anywhere. Gateway is very popular. Everybody loves going to Gateway.
The museum,
The museum,
Farmington.
yes, we
Uh-huh.
call it Gateway.
Yep.
But there are so many others that you can go to in Farmington City Hall, Farmington Library, Sycamore Park, Pinion Hills Church, and then
Right.
so there's a lot to go to, and that's just in
That's
Farmington.
just Farmington, right? Yeah. I mean, and you've got places all throughout the county, and that's
Throughout the county.
great because I think for folks who live in some of the more rural areas of the county,
Mm-hmm.
we know how big our county is. It's the size of Connecticut, for heaven's sakes, right? And so I think you make it very convenient for folks not to have to drive more than, I don't know, 30 miles,
Oh, yeah.
50 miles at most in
Easy.
some places to go cast their ballot, which is really
Yeah.
a great service to the public, I think. And you were telling me, too, that San Juan County offers more voting convenience centers than we legally have to.
Yes, we're only, by statute, legally, we have to only have about 12 right now.
And that's based on population?
That's based on your precincts. How many precincts
see.
you have in your precincts are based off population.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
we only need 12, but we have 33. And, we've even said if you're on your way to Phoenix and you want to stop by Newcomb Fire Station,
You could vote there.
You can vote there
Yeah.
if you want. So really just go anywhere and just vote.
There you go. That's true. And it's so amazing to me, too, that I can go on your website, the county clerk's website, and I can call up my not provisional ballot, pardon me, but my sample ballot,
Yes.
and see exactly the races that are in my district and that I would be voting on, so that when I go into the voting booth on election day or early, it's exactly what I'm going to see when they print it out for me there at any
Yes.
of these voting convenience centers.
Yes, and what people don't understand is there are 48 different ballot styles for this election, 49 actually. And so you're not really sure what's going to be on there. You're welcome to go print it off of our website if you want, or you can, if you go into any of our locations, they have sample ballot stations and they can print it out for you. You can sit there and look at it, study it. You can even take that into the booth with you. A lot of people like to fill it out previously and then take it in and then fill out the real ballot.
Got
So-
you. Nice. And so, I think you make it very easy
Thank
for
you.
folks to be able
Thank
to
you.
vote.
That's the goal.
Well, exactly. And again, I think it happens at counties all around the state and all around the country to try to make it easy for folks. And so I can imagine it must be a little frustrating to see the 16% voter turnout or
Yeah.
those low numbers when you put all this work into it and efforts. And your workers, too, because you hire a bunch of kind of paid volunteers who are there long hours on election day, and they are manning those convenience centers.
Yeah, we in our office, it's the same amount of work for us for an election, regardless of the turnout. We still have to put together
Right.
the convenience centers and all of the workers, and we hire between 250 and 300 workers for every election. I want to give a shout out to our election workers. They're amazing. They work really, really hard, and we really appreciate you. They're there from 6 a.m. until 8 p.m. if they're lucky. I said if everything
Right.
goes right,
Right.
the polls close at 7, and then they have some duties to do. And so, yeah.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to them.
exactly. And again, they make it very easy. I
Yes.
know when I go in and they get me through the line and into the line to go fill in my little circles.
Yes.
And so that's how it works. Now I want to ask you too a little bit about the idea of voter fraud or election fraud and things like that. We hear about that. It certainly is a concern.
Yes.
And we also hear though that there's not any really big examples of widespread fraud and things like that. Is that agree with what you know from your job as county clerk?
Yes, absolutely. I think when people think of election security, they think of maybe some guys in the back room with these big computers keeping us away from, Russians or something. And that does happen. Our IT department is great. They are keeping all of our computer networking software
They're not
safe.
hacked and things
Yeah.
like that, right? All that IT security,
Right.
sure.
But when I think of election security, I think of transparency, honesty, openness with the community. We do a lot of things in the office to make sure that not only does your vote count, but each vote in San Juan County, everybody gets one ballot. And we have checks and balances for all that. It starts off with a very rigorous certification, days-long certification, making sure those machines are running the way they're supposed to, they're tabulating the way they're supposed to, that they're sealed and transferred with chain of custody. When you get to the polling location, we have paper ballots, something tangible to hold on to, something physically that you can see and you can check later if needed.
Right.
We also have our ballot on demand system that prints your ballot, and then we have the tabulator that tabulates the ballot. And those two systems are completely different systems, and they are checked to each other. So, for example, If there were 100 ballots issued by the ballot on demand system that day, then there should be 100 ballots in the tabulator that day, right? So we have
Those
to
numbers
check
should
that.
match.
Yes, and we check that every single day and make sure that all of that matches. And
Got it.
and then we also have automatic audits after the election, after every election. So we have a lot of checks and balances in
Right.
place to prevent any sort of election fraud.
And that's important, I think,
very.
important for a lot of folks. And the idea and the addition of paper ballots, I remember when we used to use kind of touch screens and things like that. I thought that was really cool, but there was a concern that maybe those weren't maybe the best things for that kind of paper trail, literally. And an idea, if there was a issue or someone wanted to double check, what could you do? And it was all electronic. And so we went back to the paper ballots, and that's
Right.
why you say there's now that tangible paper ballot, that if there is a question, that you can go back and I guess open up those machines, and if someone had to, God bless them, count those paper ballots
Yes.
up, you could do that.
Yes, and it's us that does it.
Well, that's what I mean.
And
God
we
bless you.
have.
Yeah. Right.
We do. After every election, we're required to have an audit. So those precincts are pulled randomly, and we do have to go back into those ballot boxes and open them up with the district judges' oversight on them. And we hand tally and make sure that your vote was counted correctly by the tabulator.
Right.
And if there's ever a recount, which there has been, then those are also retabulated as well.
Got you. By hand or
Those
through
are
the machine?
in the machine.
Okay,
Yeah.
got you. But there's a judge who's watching that,
Yep,
or
there's a
or you're
judge there
reporting to
watching.
make
Yep.
sure everything's on the up and up.
And we hire an actual board, just like we do for the election, to come in and actually do the recount part
I
of
see.
that. Yeah.
Gotcha. And yeah, it has happened in a few instances where it's been maybe one or two votes. It seems really close, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what happens.
Yeah.
And the certification process is something else as well, right? Because then I think it's up to the county commission to certify the election results. And so that's also a part of this process, right?
Yes. So after the election, we go through and we make sure, all of the tabulators were uploaded for the results, and we go through each of, again, a verify and check with the precincts to make sure everything got done correctly, and then we present our findings to the commission, and then the commission finally certifies the election.
Gotcha. And that's what makes those results official.
Yeah. Then that goes to the state canvassing board, and then the state
Makes it official.
makes it official.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I there's a few steps.
A few steps.
In that
Yeah.
process, right? But that's why. And so that's why on election night, when we're watching the votes come in and the media's calling you probably incessantly,
Yes.
wanting to know about numbers, but you
Yes.
do a good job of putting them online. These are the unofficial results on election night because of those certifications have not yet been made.
Right, and so you may see some votes added here and there from, could be a provisional ballot. We have a write-in candidate, so those have to be counted separately later on throughout the night. So things like that are just little things that we have to do to make sure that it is exact.
And every vote is counted.
Every vote is counted.
Right, I got it, and that makes a lot of sense. And so, but again, when folks are watching on election night, that's why maybe those numbers sometimes do swing a little bit too, because you're adding stuff as you do even with the absentees. I think you try to get those done day of elections
Yeah.
before the polls close. Is that how you do
We
that?
do. Our absentee board, again, is amazing, and they get most of those things done, but there are hand-tallied ballots through absentee. Some of our overseas and military voters that submit their ballots, we have to hand-tally those when they come in. And so that process is a little bit different, and then with those hand tallies, we have to hand put them into the computer, make sure they're in the right precinct. So yeah, you will see variations on that.
Right.
So
Gotcha. But again, they're usually a smaller number and
very small.
and not enough to sway a result as
Right.
they're going usually on those evenings. But
Yeah.
we'll see. But
And
yeah.
we do try really hard to get the election results in very speedy that way, because we do know that everybody's waiting on those. Gateway, as I was saying earlier, is a big location, so we try to get that one in as soon as we can, just because there's a lot of votes there. We actually have the Sheriff's Department.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, we have the Sheriff's Department. They let us use their helicopter for election night, and so they bring in our results from the reservation. And
So those places like the Newcomb Fire Station that would maybe take an hour to drive them into town is a lot faster by helicopter.
Yeah, so we get those in, and as long as they meet at the drop spot at the required time, we can bring them in. There has been occasions where they have problems at their site, and so they don't get to meet, and the results are a little bit delayed.
Right.
But for the most part, we try to get everything in.
Very
quick.
good. That's great. Well, and it seems to work very well.
Yeah.
And here we go again with another election that's coming up on November 4th. Just a couple of minutes remaining this morning, but again, early voting is happening now.
Yep.
It will continue again through, through what, 17th?
Yes. Well, actually, our alternate locations open this Saturday, and so that's going to be Farmington Museum and Gateway,
Right.
Farmington Public Library, the Bloomfield Cultural Center, a CCSD business office in Shiprock, and then Newcomb Fire Station, and those
Got it.
open this Saturday.
Got you. And those will be open until November 1st.
Correct.
For early voting.
Correct.
And so it's right on the screen. I could have read it right off the screen. I'm glad that you did.
That's
and
okay.
then, again, absentee voting is going on, of course, now as well. And that is only until, what, next Tuesday?
Yeah, so there's a little bit shorter period to request an absentee ballot these days. And it's only about a 2-week period. So if you do need one, call our office immediately or get online and put in an application, and we'll get that to you.
That's the last day to get one. And then you need them back at the office by what postmark? They need to be postmarked by?
No, we actually have to have all the ballots in our office on election day by 7 p.m.
Okay.
But we do work and coordinate with the post offices to go to all of them to make sure that if there is a ballot there, we'll get it from them.
Okay.
So,
Good to know.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, Alyssa Kuhn, San Juan County Clerk, I thank you so much for coming in and explaining the election process to us. And we encourage everybody to get out there and vote. Again, you make it really easy and not a lot of excuses if you don't cast a ballot in any election. And then you can complain for the next 4 years about whatever you want to. So I think that's fair. Very good. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. My guest from the San Juan County Clerk's office with me this morning on KSJE. Did you enjoy that podcast? We hope that you did. And if you did, share it with your friends. And if you really want to keep podcasts like this coming, please support KSJE. You can do it easily online at ksje.com.